and every day is like Halloween. Their looks are vile, their skin is green. They're good boys, gone bad. They're the most fun that you're ever gonna have.
You know, one thing I always wondered about was why he wore his helmet all the time, even in his ship. Like, I mean, there is no peripheral vision whatsoever. Like, if I'm fighting somebody, I can't see anything. I didn't see that coming whatsoever. Never really understood that. Never got it. Even when it was in a ship, how are you seeing ships coming at you from the left or from the right when you're wearing this helmet? I don't know. Anyway, Joe Perugino, 100 Days of Making Comics. I believe this is 12, 13. I'm not even sure anymore. Losing track of time. Some of them are quick, some of them are short. Anyway, so I'm sitting here, did some work today on the comic. Like I said yesterday, I thought I had this big breakthrough, but, you know, that I would have this big dramatic scene where everybody's fighting with the zombies as they're trying to break into this house, very similar to like Land of the Living Dead. But you know, it occurred to me like, wow, there's just like pages and pages and pages of this just dialogue, a lot of back and forth talk, and revealing so much in this one section. It's like, I mean, it's very informative, and I guess it needs to be said, but wow, there's got to be another way of doing this. I mean, there's got to be just a lot of talking back and forth, and, you know, Rue explaining everything to the Zoms, and I don't know. I don't know. Before I move on to the third story, I really need to resolve this, because I can't imagine anybody sitting through. I mean, it's like I said, it's very informative, fills you in on a lot of stuff going on, but I don't know, I just can't imagine anybody just sitting through that without being like bored out of their mind. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, that's, you know, writing it, again, like I said, I said it needs to be said, but at the same time, I'm wondering if maybe it needs to be spaced out more over the course of the couple of books. Maybe I'm giving away too much information on the second book, you know, their first encounter. But again, it's not even that much stuff, but it's just like a lot of back and forth talk, you know, who the Zero guy is, where he came from, you know, how he had his effect on the zombies and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe I just need to, I don't know, another thing I was thinking, maybe do it in a flashback, just switch gears and then go on to this, you know, the whole, you know, the Zero character and who he is. But then if I do that, there's a big twist in the story that I don't know if I want to give it away yet. I don't know. I got to think about it. Really got to think about how I want to handle this. I am by no means a writer. So yeah, this is, you know, it's got to be a lot of editing involved because it's just a lot of dialogue. And, you know, I wrote it out, I read it, and it seemed fine, but now trying to incorporate this whole other dynamic to it with the humans and zombies trying to keep the zombies out. It's like, wow, pages and pages and pages. I don't know. It's just something I got to really think about. But I did work on it today. I did play around with it. I did give it some thought, giving some thought to it now, talking out loud to it. You know, this right here, this is part of my whole half hour, 30 minutes that I promised myself that I will work on this comic. So right now we're up to, like 10 minutes. So, did a lot. A lot of accomplishment today. Had my Boba Fett helmet on, you know. So, that always makes me happy, wearing Boba Fett helmet. Again, really just don't understand how he did anything with the helmet on all the time. It's super hot, too. But, yeah, so I've just got to really think about what I'm going to do with this scene. I'm trying to fill the 32 pages, and maybe I just don't do 32 pages. Maybe I do 24. I mean, the introduction was 32 pages. Maybe the next one is 24. I don't know. Something I got to really think about, because again, this is like really weighing on me. This whole blah 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 dialogue thing. There's got to be another way of doing it, another way of handling it. Anyway, what are we up to? 5 minutes. Oh, jeez. All right, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. So, again, I was doing this whole Night of the Living Dead homage with the characters, fighting off these zombies. You can't get too violent because, again, like the zombies aren't convinced of their place here, and they don't want to. They're not, they're not gonna just go in and start killing zombies because the humans say that to kill zombies. They need to really make up their minds about what they want to do. And again, I don't think there's going to be any killing as far as the story goes, only because it was geared for a younger group, younger audience. So for me to start killing people now is going to be weird, because it's just not that kind of audience. I'm trying to keep it PG. If I go PG-13, then it might be a harder sell, because ultimately I still have this vision that I could license these characters, that these characters will be on backpacks and iPad covers and little action figures. Again, I hate comparing, because I'm always comparing them to the Ninja Turtles, but yeah, they're basically, I see them as right alongside the Ninja Turtles. And nobody gets killed in the Ninja Turtles. So and again, the biggest problem I've always had with these characters and trying to license them to a younger audience is, yes, they are zombies, and everybody knows that zombies were alive at one point and were killed or dead and become zombies. So yeah, it's tough. It's a tough sell, and I admit that. I understand that. But I think with the story I came up with, where it's like 13 years after the whole zombie apocalypse thing, so it's a big enough distance from the actual horrors of a zombie apocalypse that kids won't really pick up on the fact that these kids were once alive and now they're dead or undead. So and again with the story that I have, they're zombies, but they're not going to be your traditional zombies. I don't want to really give anything away yet, but suffice it to say that yes, they are these zombie-looking characters, but they might not necessarily be the zombies that everybody knows they were. They might not have been dead at one point and to become and then reanimated corpses. I'm not 100% sure yet, to be perfectly honest. There was a virus, and something or somebody unleashed this virus. You will find out who that somebody is in time. But were they all killed? Was the entire population killed? I'm not sure yet. I don't know yet. They were they were changed into zombies, as 13 years ago. Could they be changed back? Not 100% sure yet. Do the zombies want to be changed back? No, they don't want to be changed back. They're very happy now, being these creatures that they are with these superpowers and all that. So yeah, again, ultimately, I want these guys to be as big as possible. And my feeling, in order to make that happen, is to keep it as unviolent as a zombie story can be. I don't know how. That's a challenge. That's a huge challenge. But then, am I being true to myself? Am I being true to the story? Am I being true to the zombie culture? I don't know. I don't know. Nowadays, zombies could be anybody, anything. I know that the zombie genre is kind of like fading away, dying. But again, are they zombies? No, they're zombs. That's the story. I have, and that's the one I'm sticking to. They're not zombies, they're zombs. So, in the end, at the end of the day, the main characters, the stars of the show, are the zombs. They're not, again, they're not undead, they're not dead, they're not human, they're not zombie, they're zombs. So, you know, when I start licensing these things and people ask me these questions, this is my answer. They're not zombies, no, they're zombs. Because, you know, ultimately I do want them to be for kids. I want them to be, I always pitched it as, you know, zombies for kids. So, that's what I'm hoping with this story, that I can remain true to that, because ultimately that's really what I want. I don't want there to be blood and guts and your typical, you know, zombie decapitations and all that, you know. So there's not going to be any of that stuff. There's none of that. There's none of that in this scene that I'm creating, and there won't be any of that in the story as it goes along. So yeah, and in that sense, I'm being true to myself. I'm being true to the way I want it to be. I'm not doing this to sell out. You know, as far as, you know, I know zombies act a certain way, but, you know, they don't all have to be that way. I mean, this is my interpretation. And again, they're not zombies, they're zombs. So, with all that being said, we'll see how it goes. I just need to work out this one part. Because, you know, that's the other thing too, is like, it's very wordy. And I don't think kids will maintain that train of thought. I mean, I have 2 kids, and, you know, I'm not putting kids down. Kids are very smart, they're very intelligent, they pick up a lot of stuff. But at the same time, if they're confronted with these pages of dialogue and there's no action and nobody getting their butt kicked, no zombies getting, you know, beat up, they might drift. They might not want to continue with it. So again, something I really have to think about. You know, I got the whole story mapped out in my head, but I'm just, there's one part that I just keep going back to that I really need to decide what I'm going to do with. And I spent time today on it. I spent time on yesterday on it. I'm looking to resolve this hopefully by the end of the week. This is my goal this week, is to fix this part of the story, so that once I can fix this part of the story, then we can move on to the rest of the story. Because I think after this, the rest of the story is just easy. I mean, I know exactly what happens. I know how it's going to wrap up and how we need to get there. So it's just a matter of getting this part of the story taken care of. Thank you very much for my ramblings. Thanks for listening to me, my crazy talk about zombies and all that stuff. It does help. I mean, it really does help. Like I said the other day, I had this conversation to myself, basically. But then, right after it, I was like, wow, I could do this. And then I started doing that, and now I'm faced with another problem, which I'm hoping this conversation will resolve too. So, thanks for listening to me. Hope you enjoyed it. And, hey, if you guys know about this whole Boba Fett thing, how he's able to see with this stupid mask on through the entire trilogy, let me know. And I am a firm believer, I don't know about you guys, I'm a firm believer that he survived the Sarlacc pit. I don't know what happened to him after that, but he lived a long life as a bounty hunter after that. So, agree or disagree, love to hear your thoughts about that. Until next time, Joe Perugino, 100 Days of Making Comics, The Zombs. Check it out, www.thezombs.com. Check them out on Facebook too. They're on there too. I know I don't mention that a lot, but they are there. Like the page. You'll hear more about, like, with upcoming events and stuff like that and what's going on. And let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, because I don't want to do this for anything. I want to do this for people like you guys and your kids or whatever, and just I would love to hear what you guys think about it. So send me email, comment on the section below. Love to talk to you guys. Later.